Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back, y'all. My name is Danielle, and this is my spiritual journey. Okay, so I want to address a comment that was left on one of my videos when I was talking about church. Let's say, just putting this out there right now, I will talk about church in a few more videos because I want to do another little two-part thing maybe down the line on how I respond to Christians. While as a spiritual person, how do I respond to Christians? Anyway, so the person was saying something about there being hypocrites in the church and they were probably doing the same thing type thing was the comment. And so I want to say this as someone who is no longer in the church, and I haven't been in the church for a long time, like a long time, I do still look at some of the incidents and see, this, and this, just looking at myself outside of the church. And I will say this, if you took the church as a place, because remember, a church is supposed to be the place where Christians go. So if you just look at the place where the people went, not what they were supposed to be studying or learning or practicing or anything like that, but just the people, y'all, I should not have been in church for a really long time. Um, the people in the church can be so inappropriate. Like those are not the kind of people that I would hang around. And, after dealing with so much from the women who were just essentially projecting their insecurities on me, right? Because that's what it was. And so instead of me even dealing with that, I would have left. If I went to a space, and this is even outside of church, if I went to a space and I felt like I didn't fit in or the people had nothing to offer me, I would have left. And that was just that. The men, oh my goodness, the men in the church. Yeah, those men can literally take their position and the power, I'll say power or the benefits that come with said position, they take that and they run with it. Let me tell you a story to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So there was this church that I went to, and my kinfolk would be there. Like a lot of the churches in my home state that I would attend, I had some kinfolk there. And so this particular church, there was kinfolk there, and I would talk to the different kinfolk, and I would talk to people who weren't kinfolk as well. Like I was a friendly person. I am a friendly person, but I was super duper friendly. And back then there was this like my deacon happened to be my kinfolk, but I never called on my deacon. Like I don't I don't call on deacons to be like deacon so and so I need prayer. Like I don't use deacons. I don't care what church it is. I don't use deacons. I think I have this thing where I don't want to deal with a man or anything like that. Like I want no parts because I don't want anybody blaming anything on me. And so my daughter was very, very young. And she would come with me because like I'm a single parent. So anywhere I go, she's going. And this man would come up to me like after Bible study and be like, Sister Danielle. And he didn't even say my name right. So if you listen to this, I'm talking about you. But anyway, and I know he probably ain't because this is a non-Christian radio show. Anyway, so he would just be like, Sister Danielle, can I talk to you? And I'm like, what? And so he was like, so I was just wondering if we could like meet up outside of church. And I'm like, for what? And he was like, to like study the Bible and things because like not only was I an avid Christian goer, church goer person, but I also was Sunday school teacher and all the things, right? And so he's just like, so we can talk about the Bible and just catch up and everything. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like that's my go-to response is no, I'm good. And so I was just like, no, I'm good. And so he was like, you sure, Sister Danielle? And I was like, no, I'm good. And so then he was like, well, what about your daughter? We can go and get some ice cream at the like that Baskin Robbins or something. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to be seen in public with just any random old man, first of all. Second of all, I definitely don't want to be seen in public with a married man unless you my daddy, right? Like You can be my daddy. You could be my sibling. You can be, maybe a cousin. It depends on what cousin. Because some of these peoples out here, these females, oh hell no, don't get me confused. Don't get me twisted. Don't think that I'm with your people, even though they're my people too. Like I don't swing like that. So anyway, I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And dude ended up calling me like multiple times. I'm like, why are you calling me? Hello? Like, and so I wouldn't just, he's trying to still get me to go out on a date, but he's calling me now. And so I had just gotten mad one time and I was just like, how'd you get my number? And he's like, I'm a deacon at the church. I got access to everybody's number and address. And I'm like, so it was just some kind of whatever. I was feeling some kind of way. So I ended up going to go let the pastor of that church know that, hey, dude is calling me and he's not seeming like he's trying to do deacon stuff. And even if he is, he's not my deacon. And I don't like him calling me. And he said he has all of my information because he is a deacon and that's how he's calling me. But he also got my address and everything else. I don't like that. And so he was just like, this is a pastor. I think it's just a misunderstanding. I think you reading too much into it. I don't think that's his intention. He is a deacon and doing all that other mess. And it just like ticked me off. Like, I am a single parent trying to mind my business, trying to, right? Just do all these things. Like I am minding my business. And I'm just trying to like just do me and this married man, and I'm going to the pastor. Like, who else you want me to go to? God? Like, I'm trying to go to the pastor and be like, hey, like this man is calling me. He married, he a deacon. I know who his wife is, like all the things. And so it was just like it was bothering me. Like I went to the pastor and the pastor was just like, ah, girl, now you tripping, like that kind of thing. And so I left the church. I didn't leave the church, but I left the church, that situation, because I had gone to the church to talk to the pastor. And so it was just like really, really bothering me. And then his wife tried to approach me about it and was just like, hey, so I hear you having, like, if everybody hearing that I'm having problems with this man, why can't we address the situation? Like, hey, can you stop calling her? Like, can you leave her the hell alone? Like, you are married. Can you stick with your wife? Can you stick with your own deacon people? Like, you got people under you because they at that church it went by alphabet. I'm pretty sure most churches go by alphabet, so by last name. Um, if your last name falls within this category, then this is your deacon, and so forth and so on. And so, like, nobody addressed him, nobody reprimanded him or anything. I'm at work one day, I get a phone call. Yeah, how did this tangent go on to a tangent? Anyway, so I get a phone call and I'm at work minding my beeswax and I'm like, hello, because I always answer my phone and I let my employers know, hey, I'm always answer my phone because it could be somebody calling saying that my daughter is sick and I need to come get her ASAP. And guess what? I'm gonna go get my daughter ASAP. And so I was like, hello. And it was a voice on the phone and it was just like, who is this? And I was just like, who is this? And so they were like, this is blah, 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 and you been calling my husband. And I was like, I sat there for a minute and I was like, I know this voice. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. Girl, this is blah, blah, blah. And so I let her know because I'm thinking we cool. And she's like, you calling my husband and you need to stop calling him. He married. I was like, hold on, blah blah blah. I need you to go look at that phone bill that you said that I've been calling your husband. Look at the numbers. Your man has been calling me. That is only a one-way thing. That man keeps calling me. You have never seen my number come into that number. You have never seen my number come into any of y'all, right? I ain't trying to sit here and F around with none of y'all, right? Because y'all, we don't, we not like that. And see, this right here, this is what happens. Like, get your man. You need to get your man and you need to address your man. And so after that conversation, when she was just like, oh, like, because she called me like she was really on 10 accusing me. And I'm pretty sure, because, back then the cell phones, it was just like everybody can hear what's going on around and so forth and so on. Like, this is way back. And so I was just like, first of all, did anybody else hear this? Second of all, even if they did, like, I'm not sitting here effing around with nobody's, like, nobody. Okay. Like, I can't even say nobody's man, just nobody. Okay. So I was just like, this is just really frustrating. And so then I waited because I was like, this is going to be one awkward ass Sunday, when we met up and she didn't come to church. She didn't come to church for a while. And then it ended up that, I guess she ended up going through and getting a divorce. I don't know because shortly after I did stop going to the church, like I was already on the verge of being done with the church, like when I first showed up in church on the scene, it was a completely different church, but that was my first time showing up on a Sunday with having my child. So after I'd had my child, I'm showing up on a Sunday, and this lady addressed me and she was just like, Sister so and so, I mean, thank you for coming to church and you look cute, but you are a girl. You're supposed to be wearing a dress. Because I was wearing a pants outfit, a pantsuit. Because, at that time, like I didn't have my normal wardrobe, like the normal clothes that I could have worn. I couldn't quite fit into those yet. Like I hadn't lost all my baby weight. And so it was just like, I was wearing what I could that was appropriate to go to church that wasn't going to be jeans. And it's like, I came in, I sat on a very back row because I felt some kind of way about my appearance because I had had a baby. And before when I was in high school, so in high school, like up to the age of 18, I'm weighing like 90 pounds, right? And so I now had this baby, and it's just a couple of years after, like I got pregnant and I was 19. And so it's just like, I'm not used to having such a difference in weight and my body looking that different. And so to have on the pants outfit, and my mom was like, "Girl, you cute." And I was like, "Thank you, mommy." I was just not really feeling it, but my mom was just like, "Girl, you cute," or whatever. And so I went, and I can't even remember if I had my daughter with me. I probably didn't because I didn't want all the whodunits and what fors touching my daughter. So I probably left her with my mama. And it was just like, you can't even appreciate that am at church because I also come from old school. Old school, you ain't about to have a baby and pop your butt right back out into the public. Like you not, okay? You need to at least have gone in and gotten your, what is that? 6 week, 6 or 8 week checkup, whatever that is. Like until you had that, you posted up at somebody's house. You ain't taking your ASS nowhere. Like they don't play. And so I did not fight that. Like I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna do that. And then, I even took time off from school. So, I was like, I'm cool with that. Like I don't understand why women, like your body goes through a lot of different experiences from the time you conceive, like from that moment, and all the way up until and then gaining the weight, the different emotions, all the different things. I'm not about to hop my ass back out in public. Like I'm not. I ain't even want to bring my child out because again, everybody want to see your baby, everybody want to be touching. I don't know you, and I have OCD too. Get your hands away from my baby. Like ugh. And anyway, so yeah, that was just a lot of the different church experiences. Like it was just a lot of like, you are so insensitive. So yeah, I feel some kind of way about church, and that is just the people in the church. So that's the point of this video. The people in the church act a way that I would not hang around them. Okay. I don't want to hang around the people in the church. Now, the people in the church who are supposed to be following these rules in the Bible, I'm good on that as well. Like the Bible is something that I realized early on, but I still try because when you're brought up in something, when you're indoctrinated in something as a child, like you really do feel like that's law. Like you really do. And so the few things, to excel, to be a disciplined child, to have manners, to put your effort into it, except yeah, I did not put effort into playing the violin. I naturally played the violin. Like I was really good at playing the violin. Played the violin for 19 years. Very good at it. But did I practice? H no. Then people thought that you were supposed to be practicing for hours and hours upon a day. Like, no, we are not doing that. Like I am naturally good. I get it from my mama. Thank you. Anyway, so the Bible was different. Like I was really putting in time with the Bible and everything, but I still felt like I was never gonna measure up. Like for real. Like at the end of the day, you got the Ten Commandments, and people would take and distort the Ten Commandments even. I'm gonna give you an example. Thou shalt have no other God before thee, right? And so that was one thing. And so in Sunday school, because that's what we did as children, went to Sunday school, and the lady was just like, I don't have no me. I'm like, I don't have no other guys before the like I'm good. And so she was telling me how I'm still breaking that commandment. And it's like, girl, if you spend X amount of time watching TV, Like you are letting that be your God. That is your idol. Like that is a sin. You are breaking the Ten Commandments. And I was just like, like there was nothing that I could do where I was going to win, right? I was always sinning, always falling short, always needing to ask God to forgive me and like never, God was never going to like me, right? Like there would be some times where I'd be like, oh man, God likes me because I didn't get into a fight with my brother, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, it was only going to last for like 5 minutes, right? And that, because you go to sleep and then you wake up the next day and maybe your brother don't like you, or maybe you don't like your brother, or whatever the case is. Maybe he did something. Maybe he pushed you. Maybe you know what? My brother, he would hum when he would eat sometimes, and I do not like that. And I need to stop talking about my brother because, people watching this and they might know who my brother is. I'm like, bro, you hummed when you was eating, but man, when he would be eating his cereal, he would be humming. I'd be like, mommy, he humming when he eating his cereal. And then that would be me like telling on my brother and all the things. And then God would not be happy with that. And so I was just like, I was never going to win with God. Not that God in the Bible. Like, no. And then God was jealous and all the things, but I couldn't be jealous, but God could be jealous and just all the things. And he could kill everybody. And I don't know if he would kill me one day, if he would just strike me down one day. Like I didn't know anything. I was always walking on eggshells. And so yeah, anyway, yeah. So, the people in the church, they really did teach me a lot. Like they taught me a lot, that I don't hang around those kind of people. And I'm glad I left the church because I don't hang around those people and I feel so much better. I don't feel like I'm going to hell. I don't feel like I'm doing ish wrong all the time. Like none of that. Like I did in the beginning of my spiritual journey, which we will talk about later. In the beginning of my spiritual journey, I really did feel like I was doing stuff wrong. Like when you hear people tell you, this is how you manifest, this is how you meditate, this is how you this is how you this is how you this. Man, I feel like I was doing stuff wrong. I would be listening to videos or reading things on repeat to be like, okay, so what happened? Like you do what? Now, did I visualize long enough? Now, was I in the right space and mindset before I started visualizing? Like, yeah, I'm trying to get an A+ on this spiritual journey. And then later I was just like, be easy. Like, do your thing. And so, yeah, that's where I am today. And so I'm doing content to let you know that the answers are within you. If you stayed in church and you felt like you stayed in church for too long, like there's a reason that you stayed in church too long, right? And so then that makes it that your too long wasn't too long. It was just right for you. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, y'all put it in the comment section. I will, like I said, I will be talking a little bit more about church later on. You have to understand, or even if you don't understand, I'm gonna tell you. So with me being in church for so long, like decades, for me being in church, I say it like that, but I like to say it like that. But with me being in the church for so long, like I do know the Bible. I don't anymore, but I do know some scriptures and I kind of have like a bit of the structure. And so when people come up and they want to spew their hatred or whatever on me being spiritual and no longer Christian and how this, and this, I like to show them parallels and they shut up real quick because they just be like, look. So yeah, I will be doing some of those because I do understand that there are some people. I understand that my audience can be one where there are Christians who are looking, just curious and like, I'm not sure that this is a path that I need to continue on. Maybe I do need to look into spirituality, but I'm scared. And then there's people who just like, you know what, I have left the church, but there are people who come up on me and ask me things, and I don't know how to respond to them. So I'll give you some content on that. Okay. So, like I said, until then, y'all, the delivery person just came and brought me some vittles. Um, so until then, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave it in the comment section, and I'll check back with y'all later. Thank you for watching. Bye, y'all.